Welcome to Mindful Leadership, Transforming Lives, with your host, Singh. This is where leadership meets purpose, presence, and passion. In today's fast paced, high pressure world, we face a leadership crisis. Too often, teams are led by managers who lack empathy, clarity, and vision, leaving individuals uninspired, disconnected, and undervalued. But it doesn't have to be this way. Great leadership isn't born, it's built. The end game: empower your leadership, inspire the world. Every week, join me, your host Singh, as we tackle the gaps in leadership and life coaching head on, learning how mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and compassion can redefine success. This isn't just another podcast, it's a mission to fill the void left by ineffective leadership. And it's not just about leadership in business. Life coaching for leaders and new executives is at heart of this journey. Ready to rise above the noise and lead with clarity, purpose, and impact? Join a global movement dedicated to reshaping the future of leadership one mindful moment at a time. Let's begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Mindful Leadership Podcast on the Transformation Network. The podcast where we turn stress into strategy, overthinking into clarity, and overwhelm into momentum. I'm your host, Singh, the leadership coach who knows that growth does not happen through burnout, it happens through alignment. Let's begin. All right, ponder this. It is Monday morning. You have got your coffee in hand, barely lukewarm because you have already reheated it twice, and you're sitting in a meeting that was supposed to last 30 minutes. But of course, it's creeping into overtime. The PowerPoint slides are flying faster than a toddler on a sugar rush. And Jerry from Ops, good old Jerry, is in his element. He's throwing out buzzwords like synergy, impact, and my personal favorite, low hanging fruit. And if he would have paid by the corporate jargon committee, he would have made millions. And just as you're mentally debating whether you should fake a Wi Fi issue to escape, it happens. Bam. Someone pulls up company's vision statement. There it is, bold, inspiring, suffocating under a layer of corporate dust. It is the same vision statement that is profoundly framed in the lobby next to that sad, droopy plant no one waters. For a brief second, everyone in the room nods like it is a pledge of allegiance. Someone even reads it out loud, like they're channeling their inner Morgan Freeman. But let's stop for a second here. Here is the real question: was anyone in that room actually using it? Or it is just sitting there collecting metaphorical dust while everyone scrambles to solve the latest urgent crisis? Like why the coffee machine is still broken. Because here is that hard truth, my friends. A vision without action is just as good as a screensaver. Sure, it looks nice. Sure, it is inspiring about 5 seconds when you walk by it. But let's be real. It does not move your team forward. It does not make decisions easier. And it sure as hell does not inspire anyone when they're knee deep in deadlines, Slack notifications, and emails titled Quick Question that everyone and anything but quick. But here's the good news: it does not have to stay that way. Vision is not some static, untouchable thing you hang on a wall. It is not a trophy. It is not a mantra you pull out during quarterly reviews to sound impressive. Vision is living, breathing system. It is something you embed into the fabric of your work every single day. And that is exactly what we are going to talk about in this episode. How do you take that lofty big picture dream, the one that sounds so bold and ambitious on paper, and turn it into traction? How do you align it with the messy, chaotic reality of our daily lives? Because here's the deal: vision is not about being lofty, it is about being useful. And when you align big picture dreams with boots on the ground action, that is when magic happens. That is when you stop staring at a screensaver and start building momentum. So let's get to work today. Let's turn that screensaver into traction. Now, before we do that, let's be honest for a second. Have you ever felt like your big dreams and your daily to do list are living on two completely different planets? You've got this big, bold vision, something ambitious, inspiring, and ideally the kind of thing that gets people fired up. But then reality kicks in. Suddenly, that vision up on a PowerPoint slide and all hands meeting. While you're buried in Slack messages about why Office printer still won't connect to Wi Fi. Sounds familiar? Here's the thing, most leaders have a vision, some big, inspiring idea that is supposed to drive everything they do. But here's the problem, it is not enough just to have a vision, it is not showing up in the decision you make every day. It is not doing your job, it is not supposed to be there. So let's break this down. What does it actually mean to align your vision with your actions? What does it look like to bridge the gap between where you want to go and what you're doing right now? Let me give you a quick story. I worked with a leadership team that had a killer vision statement. It said industry leadership through innovation. Sounds great, right? Bold, inspiring industry leadership through innovation. Definitely the kind of thing you would put in bold Helvetica at top of your website. But here's the problem. When we took a closer look at their weekly decisions, what they're actually doing, none of it tied back to innovation. Not one thing. Every decision they made was optimized for safety, predictability, and minimizing risk. They were so focused on staying in their comfort zone, they may as well have been wearing pajamas to their board meetings. And look, I get it. Comfort zone are nice. They're cozy. But here's the thing, nothing innovative ever comes from a comfort zone. So we made one small change, and I mean small. We added a single question to the weekly leadership meeting agenda. Which decision this week moves the vision forward? That is it, one question. And let me tell you, the ripple effect was immediate. Suddenly, conversations started to change. Instead of focusing on what was safe or predictable, the team started asking, how does this decision align with our vision for innovation? Priorities shifted, people got a little braver, and most importantly, the vision stopped feeling like a line in PowerPoint deck. It had a heartbeat, it was alive. And here's the kicker, that was not a massive overhaul. It was not a 5 year strategy plan with a million moving parts. It was one simple question that turned their vision from screensaver into a strategy. So here's the takeaway, align your vision with your action does not have to be complicated. You don't need to roll out a massive change initiative or spend months reworking your strategy. Sometimes it is as simple as asking the right question. Which decision this week moves the vision forward? One question created a ripple effect for that leadership team, and it can do the same for you. So here's my challenge for you. Before your next meeting, before your next project, before your next decision, stop and ask yourself this question. How does this move the vision forward? Because when you align your vision with your daily actions, you're not just dreaming, you're building. And that is where magic happens. If you want to connect your bold, inspiring vision to the messy, chaotic reality of day to day work, you need three things. One, the foundation, which is define your vision. And when I say define it, I mean really define it, not the kind of word salad full of corporate jargon that sounds like it was written by ChatGPT. after 3 shots of espresso. And I'm talking about a vision that punches you in the gut. Think about JFK in 1962, standing in front of the world and saying, "We are going to the moon." That is the kind of vision that is clear, bold, impossible to ignore. It is not, "We are optimizing interstellar travel for process efficiency." No, it is direct, tangible. And it makes people lean in and say, "Hell yes, let's do this." So ask yourself, does your vision pass the gut punch test? If your vision feels vague, overcomplicated, or loaded with buzzwords, it's time to simplify, my friends. Because here's the thing, if your team cannot explain your vision in one sentence, one single clear sentence, you do not have a vision. You have a riddle. And nobody has time to solve riddles when they are knee deep in deadlines and Slack notifications. And here is how you fix it: cut the fluff and get to the point. Focus on the thing people can see, because clarity is not boring, it is powerful. Let me give an example. I once worked with a client whose vision was to empower the future of sustainable energy solutions through cross functional collaboration and innovative thinking. You'd think it is interesting, right? But when I asked the team, it meant I got 10 different answers. So we worked on it and we simplified it to just this: we are building the future of clean energy. That is it. No jargon, no fluff, just a statement that hits you in the chest and makes you want to roll up your sleeves. Now, here's your challenge: take a hard look at your vision statement. Does it pass the gut punch? Could a 10-year-old understand it without zoning out? If not, strip it down, because clarity is not just nice to have, it is the starting point of everything else. Now, now that you have got a vision that punches people in the gut, let's move to the second step: translation. Here is where a lot of leaders get stuck. They have got big, bold vision, but when it comes to breaking it down into action, crickets, right? The vision just sits there like a shiny trophy on a shelf, completely disconnected from the work that actually needs to happen. This is where objectives and key results, OKRs, come in. And look, I know the acronym like OKRs make most people glaze over faster than a 7 a.m. Zoom meeting, right? So let me make it simple. What are we aiming at, and how will we know we are moving? That is it. It is the whole thing. Let's break it down with an example. Say your vision is to lead the industry through innovation. Great, sounds ambitious. But how do you actually look at leading or innovating, right? So here is how you translate that into action. Your objective is to launch a new product prototype by Q4 that challenges industry norms. And as a result, you secure 3 groundbreaking ideas from a brainstorming session, test at least 2 prototypes with key customers, and achieve a 20% improvement in product efficiency. See what we did there. We took the idea, industry, leadership through innovation, and turned into specific, measurable actions. Actions that your team can rally behind. Actions that create momentum. And here's the takeaway: if your vision cannot be tied to something concrete, measurable, and actionable, it is not vision. It is just an abstract. An abstract does not build trust. It does not inspire teams. It does not move the needle. So, this week, take a moment and ask, what one project, one measurable action that ties directly to my vision? Maybe it is hosting a no holds barred brainstorming session. Maybe it is piloting a new process. Whatever it is, make it clear, measurable, and tied to bigger picture, because that is how you turn vision into traction. All right. Now that you have defined your vision and translated it into action, let's talk about the final and most overlooked step: keeping it alive. And here's the thing about vision. It is like a workout routine, right? You cannot just do it once and expect results. You can't bench press one time and expect to look like the rock. Vision needs repetition, reinforcement, and most importantly, visibility. If your vision is not showing up in day to day, it is just a motivational poster in the break room. You know the one, the eagle flying over a mountain that says, soar to new heights. Inspiring, right? Except nobody actually soars because the printer's jammed, the coffee machine's broken, and everyone's drowning in emails. And here is how you keep your vision alive. Talk about it. Don't just roll it out in a quarterly meeting and call it a day. Bring it into your weekly team huddles, your one on ones, your project updates. Tie every decision, every project, and every win back to the vision. Measure it. If your vision is about delivering world class customer experience, how are you tracking that? Are you measuring customer satisfaction? Are you celebrating the moments when your team goes above and beyond? And celebrate it. Vision is not about big wins, it's about small steps along the way. If someone on your team does something that moves the vision forward, shout it out. Recognition is not just nice, it is a fuel. And here's a bonus tip: make your vision visible. Put it where people can see it, not buried in PowerPoint deck or framed in the lobby. I'm talking about places where real work happens. Maybe it is a post it on your desk, or a reminder on your calendar, or a line at top of your team Slack channel. Because here's the truth: vision dies in silence, but it thrives in repetition. The more you talk about it, measure it, and celebrate it, the more alive it becomes. And when your team sees the vision showing up in the day to day, they don't just buy into it, they own it. So here's a challenge this week: find one way to bring your vision to life in your daily work. Maybe it is tying into a project, maybe it is celebrating a small win. Whatever it is, keep it visible, keep it alive, and keep it moving. Now, here's a question for you: when was the last time you talked about your vision with your team? Not in a quarterly review, not in a strategy session. I mean, in middle of the day when things were messy and deadlines were looming. If it has been a while, that is your challenge this week. Bring your vision into conversation. Tie it to one project, one decision, one action happening right now. Vision does not live in a deck or speech. It lives in what you do. Every email you send, every meeting you run, every decisions you make. That is where the vision comes alive or it dies. And just remember this: vision without action is just a screensaver. But vision with action, that is how you build momentum. That is how you create trust. And that is how you lead. So, again, this week, take the break, ask the question, and move the vision forward, even by 1%. Even by 1%, because that is how big dreams are built, one small intentional step at a time. All right, let's talk about what does not work when it comes to aligning your vision with your action. Because sometimes the problem is not vision itself, it is how you are trying to explain it. One time I asked a client to send me their vision statement, and what I got was not a statement, it was a, a novella. I'm not kidding. It was so long and convoluted. I was not sure if I was reading a mission statement or a script for a Christopher Nolan movie, right? By the time I got to the end, I forgot how it started. I needed a snack, a nap, and a decoder ring just to make sense of it. Here's the deal, my friends. If a vision requires a translator, if a vision requires a PowerPoint, and if a vision requires a coffee break to understand, it is not a vision, it is a riddle. And nobody is ready to solve it. Your team is too busy trying to keep up with the 47 Slack channels you have got running in the same time. Let me put it this way: a vision is supposed to be simple. It is supposed to simplify things, not make everyone feel like they're trying to solve Wordle on an expert mode. Clarity is not boring, it is powerful. Think of it like this: you have got a Swiss knife and a hammer. The Swiss Army knife is cool, right? It has got a corkscrew, scissors, a tool for opening cans. You will have never used, right? Probably a toothpick. But when you need a nail something down, what do you grab? The hammer every time. Your vision needs to be a hammer, straightforward, focused, impossible to ignore. Because when people hear your vision, they should not be thinking, wait, what does that mean? They should be thinking, got it, let's go. So here's a quick takeaway: if a vision cannot fit on a post it note, it's not clear enough. Take a moment this week to reread your vision statement. If it feels like it belongs in a law school textbook, it's time to simplify. Cut the fluff, ditch the jargon, and get to the point. Because at the end of the day, your vision is not about sounding impressive. It is about being useful. And trust me, when you nail clarity, it is not just a win for you. It is a one win for your entire team. All right. Now, just for a second, the meetings, the emails, the urgent slacks, messages, that are probably just someone asking whether the stapler is. But if you just push all those aside, because right now I want you to think about your organization's vision, or if you are flying solo, your personal vision for your life or career. Now, let me ask you three simple but not so simple questions. Is your vision clear? And I don't mean clear in the MBA buzzword sense. I mean, can you explain it to a 10-year-old without them zoning out or asking if they can go play Minecraft? If you cannot state and stay it in one sentence, one gut punch, no fluff sentence, it is time to simplify. Second question: is it actionable? Right? And then there's the real test. Can you tie it to something happening this week, today, not 5 years from now, not someday, but this week? If a vision is not showing up in your daily work and it is just an idea, not a guide. And third, is it alive? When was the last time you talked about your vision, thought about it, or used it to guide a decision? Like actually said, this choice moves up closer. Now, if you are sitting there and thinking, okay, saying, so what do I do about it? First, take a deep breath. And second, let me share with you Vision Check, another tool that I want to give you. It's quick, it's practical, and it's going to help you bridge the gap between big dreams, daily actions. Okay? So let's talk about Vision Check. This is the tool that takes your big picture dreams and makes them actionable. Having a vision is great, but if it is not showing up in the decisions you make today, it is just a nice idea floating in clouds. The beauty of Vision Check is that it is simple, practical, and takes less than 2 minutes to complete. But don't let its simplicity fool you. So, the first step is to visualize. Start by taking one slow, deep breath. And yes, I mean right now, literally stop what you're doing and breathe. Because here's the thing: clarity does not come when your brain is in chaos. It comes when you slow down enough to see the bigger picture. And then ask yourself, what does winning look like if my vision were real today? Right? Next step is to zoom into the present moment and ask yourself, what am I working on right now? Not the plan, not the intention. I'm asking about actual task, project, or decision that is sitting right in front of you right now. This is where a lot of us get stuck because we are busy juggling 100 things that we forget to step back and connect what we are doing right now and not where we want to go. So, for example, if you're spending your morning responding to emails, ask yourself, is this task moving me closer to my vision, or am I putting out fires? Right? Third, now this might sound little out there, but stick with me. The next step is to scan your body. Pause for a second and check with yourself. Are your shoulders up near your ears? If your jaw is tight, are you holding your breath? Those little signals are your body's way of telling whether you are reacting to chaos or moving with intention. And here's the thing, leadership is not just about what you do, it's about how you show up, right? And then the game changer step is to ask yourself, how can this task, decision, or action move the vision forward? And here's the key, if the thing you are working on does not align with the vision, you have got three choices: adjust it, delegate it, or delay it. Because not everything deserves your energy. Let me give you an example. If your vision is about delivering exceptional client experience and you are spending hours in meetings that does not touch your client, it is time to ask, how can I adjust my priorities? Maybe it is stepping out of the meeting and dedicating that time to a client touch point instead, right? So here's the thing, if you're not sure where to start, your cheat code is the vision check. You already know how it works. Visualize, identify, scan, integrate, own. Next steps. 2 minutes. That's all it takes. Pause before your next meeting. Take a deep breath. Do the check. Because when you align your daily actions with your long term goals, you're not just chasing a dream, you're building it. And here's the thing about building something big, it is not about sudden leaps, it's about small intentional steps. You don't run a marathon by sprinting the first mile and hoping for the best result, right? You pace yourself. You focus on the next corner, the next mile marker. Leadership is no different. It's about finishing the race today, right? It's not about just finishing it today. It's about making sure you're moving in the right direction. Now, if you're ready to take this even further, and I know you are, your next move should be DM me Curious Leader on LinkedIn. I'll send you the Purpose Factor Assessment, a quick, powerful tool designed to help you uncover what drives you so you can lead with clarity, courage, and intention. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Mindful Leadership on Transformation Lives on the Transformation Radio. I'm Singh, and I'll see you next time. Until then, take the breath, ask the question. This is your moment. Take it. You have got this. Thank you.
Thank you for watching Mindful Leadership Transforming Lives. With me, your host, Singh. We are honored to have you join us on this journey to explore the transformative power of mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and authentic leadership. Tune in every week on transformationtalkradio.com at noon Pacific on Tuesdays, where we will continue to explore how mindful leadership can create a ripple effect of positive changes in your life and lives of those you influence. This show is dedicated to helping you lead with purpose, presence, and passion. Whether you're navigating the complexities of business, building strong connection with your team, or striving to make a meaningful impact in the world around you. To learn more about the show, access additional resources, or dive deeper, visit singpowerupcoach.com. Remember, leadership isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. Let's continue to transform lives together, one mindful moment at a time. See you next week.